Hello folks, my name's Steve and welcome to another one of my motorhome videos. In today's video I'm going to try to upgrade my solar power system and give me a means of control and monitoring my battery condition. And the way I'm going to do it is by using a battery monitoring system. This is the BMV 712 from Victron Energy. Now I want this vehicle to be as off-grid as possible, and because I'm using solar power so much, I think it's really essential that I know how much power is in the battery, how much power I'm using, and how much I've got left of the battery power. And this monitoring system will do exactly that. So let's have a look at what's inside the box. So this is the components that you get with the kit. Firstly, you've got the shunt. This is a 500 amp. It's got two 10mm bolts for your terminals either side. You get a bezel and the main display unit, two red power leads and a grey UTP lead about 10 meters. So all in all, a total of 6 components make up the hardware side of the BMV 712. As well as those hardwired components, you also get a instruction manual which is fairly comprehensive. It talks you through all of the setup procedures for your relevant batteries. You get a quick start guide, but this is more of an overview depending on what battery configuration you've got. So what I've done, I've gone onto the Victron Energy website and downloaded a PDF relevant to this monitor, and I found this to be the most comprehensive, and it's probably the best guide if you're unsure and you want to know exactly what to do. So this is the solar setup that I've installed, and I'm going to be placing the main component, the shunt, over here and I'll be disconnecting all the earths off of the negative side of the battery and replacing it just with one cable that goes from the negative to one side of the shunt, and then from the other side we're coming out and into a newer buzz bar that's going in there and replacing that one. The earth wires will go into that box, as will all the earths that I'm taking off of here also go into that box. So essentially everything is monitored through this one wire and through the shunt, and here is where the power's drawn. So it will monitor it, and I'll run the UTP cable from the shunt along, hide all the cables, and I'll be going up into the cupboard where I'll be fitting the monitor to tell me exactly what's going on. I'm going to put it up here in the cupboard with my inverter switch and a couple of USBs. First of all, I want to take off this old panel and make myself a new one to fit in its place. So I've taken all the switches off of that panel, and I'm going to try and do a layout something like this where they're all in line. I've already drilled some holes over here, some test holes, to make sure they'll go in it. For this bezel you need, it says 52, but I've only got a 54-inch cutter, and that seems to have done the job quite well. It will fit in there nicely and I won't need this outside bezel then. I'm also toying with the idea of just doing the switches individually, maybe one above each other, and I've done a test hole as well over here, as you can see, and I think that looks better, to be honest. So there we go. that's the finished panel. Reasonably neat. I've just got to fit it in the van and wire it up now. So this is the UTP cable that I'm connecting. I'm going to run it from the display in this cupboard all the way down to where my shunt connection is. UTP stands for unshielded twisted pairs, but really it's just like an Ethernet cable really, and it will send all the signals from the shunt to the display. On the back of the display you've also got several other ports. You've got a VE port which will go, if you've got a VE to USB connector, it will run to your computer, and there's 2 relay ports, normally open and normally closed, for running alarms and that sort of thing. But I won't be using any of them. So I've got all the hardware installed now, and the first thing that comes off the battery is this negative cable. It's a 270 amp cable, and it runs through to the shunt, where the terminals either side of the shunt are 10mm, so you'll need 10mm ring connectors on that. The shunt's screwed down and the UTP cable and the power cable are plugged in. The power cable goes along through and eventually lands up connected to all the positives that come off the positive terminal on the battery. The negatives are all together and go into a new buzz bar here. They don't go directly to any part of the battery. Straight off the shunt, straight to the earth buzz bar. That's very important. The shunt is a 500 amp. They do 1000 and 5000 amps, but that's obviously much too big for this setup. So all I've got to do now is power the system up and see if I can get it set up on my phone, because obviously this one has got Bluetooth, and I can set it all up relative to the batteries and all the other settings. Before you can do anything, you need to download this Victron Connect app. So you install that on your phone, and then you click, and you'll probably be asked to upgrade the firmware. That's the first thing you have to do to get the latest version. Then when it's ready to go, it'll take you to this page which shows the various Victron components that you've got on your system. I've got 2, an MPPT controller and the battery monitor. So if I go to the battery monitor now, it will connect via Bluetooth, and Bluetooth works about 20 foot away, so it's not too bad, and it's telling you essentially all the information that you need to know in real time what is happening to the battery now. At the moment it's 99% charged. Also, it's drawing 60 amps out of the battery. The reason for that, I've got the fridge running on electric 230 volt and the hot water running on 230 volt, so there's a fair amount coming out of it there. If I turn the hot water off, you'll see that that ampage drastically reduced. In fact, it goes to a plus, meaning there's more solar coming in replenishing than being taken out. So I'll turn it on again. And now we're in a deficit of 59 amps. And it's working out down here how long I could last drawing that amount of current. But before you can see all this, you have to do a settings change, and it's all relevant to the battery capacity that you've got. I've got 2 110 amp hour batteries, and they're AGMs. So you press the settings, you go to battery, and I've already set this up to battery capacity 220 amp hours, because that's 2 batteries, and all the other charge voltage, your Puka exponent, the tail current, I've set all this up already. and I'll leave a link in the description to a website that gives you all this information for what your settings need to be relevant to your batteries. But setting it is very easy. For example, if I wanted to change the charge voltage from 13.2 to 13.3 for 13.4, okay, and a little tick box will come up to say that it's registered. So if I change it back now, because that's not my setting, 13.2, okay, and it's registered it. So it's a simple case of adjusting the settings for your batteries. Once you've done that, you can get go back to the other settings. Relay, this is the relay, has normally open, normally closed on the back of the display. I'm not using any of them, but if you are, you need to change, you can adjust it. If you want to put an alarm on it, what you're going to display can be changed. I haven't got a starter voltage or temperature or mid voltage, so I've turned them off. Everything else I want displaying. Miscellaneous, you don't touch that, that's already preset for the shunt. And your VE cabling, should you want to set a network up on the VE, you can do that there. You can also set a network up between the two devices, between my MPPT controller and the monitor. It will transmit to the MPPT, telling it what's going on and if it needs to adjust, so they talk to each other. Now if we go back to the state of charge, I know at the moment, with the current amount of sunshine that's coming down on top of the van, the draw is 60 amps, and with that current amount of sunshine I could last another 1 hour and a half with them on all the time. Now obviously the hot water is going to heat up, that'll take 10 minutes or so, so that'll drop straight back down again. The fridge will cut in and out, and the fridge takes a very low ampage, so I know I'm okay there. So I can monitor this all the time, and everything I put on will increase that draw. And I think it should work well. This type of monitoring will tell me exactly what is going on and whether or not to turn something off. So all in all, a fantastic system to keep you on top of what's going on. One other thing, if you want to change the names of these components, just go into the particular one you want to change, press settings, and then press the 3 little dots, product info, and you can edit anything you want there. Well, that wraps up today's video, folks. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you've got something out of it and it's helped you. The system is very good. I'd highly recommend it. As you know, I run everything off of solar. The 230 volt AC, the 12 volt DC, they all run off of free electric. And having this way to monitor the battery condition, the amount of charge, the amount of usage, is going to be a fantastic asset, and it's really going to help me for full off-grid living. And with that, I'll say goodbye to you. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you on the next one of my motorhome videos. Bye for now.